You know what? Sooner or later, the detractors are going to continue to run out of excuses. Last year, they were trying to say that James Houston shouldn't be drafted too high because he didn't go up against great offensive linemen in the SWAC. And you saw the production he produced. Now they're seeing HBCU athletes go toe-to-toe against Power 5 players and not just holding their own, but dominating. In the recent Senior Bowl, Isaiah Land and Aubrey Miller not only did their jobs, but they let everyone know that they belong. And I'll chime in. What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Please like and share this video throughout all social media platforms. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to all the HBCU athletes that participated in Senior Bowls. There was different ones, and they all stood out. And I'm going to stick to my prediction. This is the year where HBCUs need to be drafted more than they did last season. If we're just being objective, look at what they did in these Senior Bowls. Look what they did this past season. The talent, the skill, the will. But I looked at the East-West Shrine game when they had Shaq Davis, Jadakiss Bonds, Dallas Daniels, and Mark Evans, the offensive lineman who should be drafted very high from Arkansas Pine Bluff, all put in work, all receiving high grades. I read an article that said Dallas Daniels improved his draft stock throughout the practices. Shaq Davis solidified his because he was already a draft prospect before the senior showcase. And Jadakiss Bonds was a freak of nature. Now, that's just 4 starting out. Let's list some more players that performed in the Senior Bowl. Let's start with the NFLPA Senior Bowl. Kamari Everett was a man amongst boys. And you know what? Going against FBS talent, he did the same thing he did in the SWAC, dominate. No difference. Isaiah Bolden, great in slot coverage, also proved again why he's the best returner in this draft, and that should increase his draft stock. So that's a total of 6 players I've mentioned. How about Keenan Isaac, who impressed scouts with his length being 6'2", and hand-eye coordination? Was one of the reasons why Alabama State had a really stingy defense. That's 7 players listed. Into the Reese's Senior Bowl, Aubrey Miller and Isaiah Land. Aubrey Miller had 7 tackles, and that's a lot for this type of game, a showcase game. It's really hard to have more than 5 tackles. Aubrey Miller had 7, and he laid a big hit on someone. He set the tone in that game. You should look at the message boards. They're saying, man, we can't miss out on Aubrey Miller. Now, you scouts and talent evaluators, don't do what you did last year. I don't know how my favorite team, the Cowboys, was able to get Marquise Bell. He was undrafted, as we all know. And it's weird because during the Cowboy season, he played 5 or more games. And if you're able to play in an active roster especially for a talented defense like the Dallas Cowboys. And even though it's a reserve role, that means something. That means you should have been drafted. That means he should have been drafted, and we all know this. But let me digress. Isaiah Land had a sack, tackle for loss. He was just all over the field. And for those who talks about range and not having enough muscle mass, a player like Isaiah Land, a creative defensive coordinator, will find solutions to get him involved. He's too quick. His spin move is crazy. And when he tackles you, you're going down. And he went up against very talented offensive linemen. Remember again, let's go back. The commentator said this is a strong senior group of offensive line, gave them first, second round draft grades. And you're going to hear their name called early in this draft. So if Isaiah Land could do that against them, that just shows he needs to be drafted. So a total, all the names I listed that did their thing at each Senior Bowl, that has really glowing reviews, that's 9 players. Now, a detractor is going to be like, oh, that's too many HBCU players. But if you think about it, take the HBCU away, just right, for a second. If they weren't at an HBCU school, you would say those 9 players need to be drafted. See, that's how you get people in the politics. If none of them went to an HBCU, they would all be saying all 9 of those players need to be drafted. This may be an old school belief, but this is what I believe in talent evaluation. If you excel in any event, especially a senior showcase, you deserve to be rewarded. Now, will that happen? Who knows? But all the 9 players I listed, I know there's more HBCU players that are going to the draft, but I'm talking about the ones that really has the scouts buzzing after their performances. 9 HBCU players. I repeat, 9 HBCU players. And if you don't believe how good they did, go on Twitter, type their name, and you'll see a scout here, a scout there, a journalist giving these players praise. I want to say shout out to all the HBCU coaches for getting your players ready. For the recent Senior Bowl, I want to say shout out to the brother Willie Simmons, who's not only a great coach but a great man from what I've heard. He prepared Isaiah Land. And Isaiah Land represented well. Now, there's going to be some names of players that should be in this list as well, but they're going to make their name get noticed. Xavier Simmons, that brother right there, remember that name. Remember what he did with Famu. He was the go-to guy as a receiver. Some team is going to take him. And you're going to look back and say, man, we should have selected him. Don't make that mistake. Here's another name. DeJohn Nugget Warren. Now, some people are saying, Nugget, why you mention Nugget? Nugget has all the intangibles and the athleticism to be a great corner. It's just some things didn't go his way, but the talent is there. The talent is there. Will he be drafted? I don't know. But when he goes in this pro day and you start seeing 4.3 and 40-plus inch vertical, don't be surprised. And if there's some more HBCU players that I did not name, let me know. But again, that's 9 draftable players who had rave reviews after their senior showcases. NFL, you talk about improving the image of your league and wanting to do right by my community or African Americans. Let's see if you're really about that. Judge these players how they do on the field. And don't do any politics. That's all I ask for. They deserve to be drafted. I repeat, they deserve to be drafted. Because it's the best feeling in the world when you went to a HBCU. Not when you go to a HBCU, leave a HBCU, it's then go to the draft and start claiming HBCUs. No. When you go to a HBCU and you finish your career in a HBCU and you're drafted and you tell the viewers the name of your HBCU school, that's got to be the most proudest moment of all. You brothers keep doing your thing, man. I believe in you. The HBCU community believes in you. And keep striving. This is RawTruth Media, and I'm out.